If you haven't heard, marijuana is going to be legal in the country tomorrow, and everybody's hearing about it, but not just people of legal age, kids also hearing all about it, and some of them may be asking questions that parents don't feel quite ready to answer. Tania DaSilva is the clinical director at Behaviour Matters and joins me now for more on that. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So let's be real, any self-respecting tween or younger, even though they haven't been exposed to cannabis, they're certainly aware of the culture, right?
Absolutely.
Talking down to them like this, like a 70s after-school special, that never works.
Absolutely
so how
not.
do we have the talk?
So I think that's something that we've actually been having for months just leading up to it, but we always tell parents to educate themselves first on the legislation, what that means for Ontario, as well as the drug itself. Also, we need to be asking our kids, what are you hearing, what do you know, what questions do you have about it? And I think most importantly is highlighting, yes, it's legal tomorrow, but it's still illegal for you because you're under the age of 18.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a village, right? Everyone has to be at the table here because they're going to get most of their first-hand information from peer groups, siblings, that kind of thing. But then kids have a pretty good sniff test, right? They're going to, oh, I don't know about that.
Absolutely.
I don't want to do that until I clear it or at least get more information. And that's where you, adults and supervisors come in.
Absolutely. Well, and I think with that, it's parents need to not be scared of having these conversations and instead lean into them. We need to make sure that kids know that, number one, their brain is developing until the age of 25. There's studies that show that substance does affect memory, focus, and like a variety of other things. So definitely giving them that so that they're aware of it, as well as looking at your own family mental history, because there is a higher risk of anxiety, schizophrenia. So them being aware of their risks and where they are there. And I think the most important piece is knowing what is it that they think this is actually going to help them cope with and giving them those skills. And like you said, that is where professionals like myself come in, where those skills can be developed elsewhere. So in our social skill programs, in emotional regulation programs, and other outlets other than turning to smoking marijuana.
You know, kids are built to experiment, to fail, to learn, to get back up, right? We don't want to legislate their development, but it is a different deal out there when it comes to drugs these days. Pot, even before all the legalization, it'll be regulated, so you'll know what you're getting if you buy it, through proper channels. It's a lot more potent. It can be mixed with other things that, in very small, microscopic almost amounts, can be deadly when it comes to opioids and things like that. And then we have the edibles enigma.
Exactly.
That's coming with beverages in the spring. That's a big hill to climb.
And I think that is something that, again, when you were younger, when my parents were younger, even when I was younger, it wasn't really that big of an issue. So it is a new topic that, again, parents need to educate themselves on or find someone to help them find that information or that education process, and then really have those conversations with their child around, now you can't just eat a brownie or a chocolate or a candy because you don't actually know what's in it, right? So that awareness piece is big.
This can also be an opportunity, can it, to open the door for other big life hack chats, things like finances, like bullying, like sexual education. Even though it's kind of in the ether when it comes to the school boards, maybe it's a chance for everybody to have that conversation at home too.
Exactly, and we tell parents that all the time. Like, these conversations, they might be uncomfortable, but you need to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. You want to make sure that your children feel comfortable coming to you if they have questions, but more importantly, feel comfortable coming to you if something happens and they need someone to support them or help them or come get them, right? So definitely having those, and it opens up to talking about sex education and, I mean, correcting some of the misinformation they might have there or anything else under that realm.
And being aware, too, that when it comes to their travels and movement through this country into other countries, there's differences everywhere you go, even within a city like Montreal, 13 different regions, 13 different sets of bylaws. And in this city, too, we're going to see, you don't want to travel across a border or, be driving, legal to drive here, not legal to smoke there. You've got to get informed, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's really knowing about where you are and what the rules and regulations are there and the effect that it might have on you.
Tania, thank you so much. It was very informative.
Thanks for having me.